What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Big Boy John 25, and tonight I'm gonna do my WWE Smackdown review and highlights. You guys know, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and let's get started. Now, Smackdown itself was a decent show. Alright, the show opens with a recap of last 2 weeks of Retribution business. Commentary informs us that extra security has been posted around the building to avoid another incident. Big E makes his entrance, puts his ring jacket over Corey Graves' head, and gets in said promo where he reminds us he's former NXT Intercontinental Champion. John Morrison also gets in said promo talking about how New Day are injured, prone, and he's gonna send Big E home to eat. Retribution surround the ring and beat Big E and Morrison down before they can have their wrestler running off and leaving the Miz to run down to check on his buddy as we go to break. So the Retribution attack Big E and John Morrison right before they begin their match. So okay, now enough of that. Back from commercial, we see Morrison and Big E regrouping backstage with a bunch of rosters. King Baron Corbin rolls up and says they're under attack and they need direction. Big E gets in his face and says this is their house, and there he'll be, you know what, if he lets the Foot Clan roll up in their business, and he will not be defeated. So later tonight he's gonna go beat John Morrison up in that ring. Now is the time to stand and fight. Alright, Sheamus rolls up to a face tissues, congratulates him on making such an impressionable speech. He says Retribution can smell their fear on Big E and then won't dare interfere with one of his matches, because if they have any sense at all, they'll be afraid of him. Big E says if Sheamus had any sense and he realized that he wasn't alone, and Big E leaves with Lucha House Party and Drew Gulak. Bayley and Sasha Banks are in the ring, cut a promo. Bayley says Retribution actually want to hear what they have to say, so the crowd should follow suit. After what happened on Raw, Sasha says we know she has to wrestle Asuka at SummerSlam, and they have to defend their tag titles at Payback, but they're not worried about that. Tonight it's about Bayley and Bayley only. Bayley says not even a McMahon can hold him down. And as for the lucky idiot that gets to face at her SummerSlam, we'll find that out next. But first, they're gonna add another one to their list of accomplishments and ring announce this Battle Royal, which they do. Quit peeing about each other of our entrance in turn. Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, Tegan Knox, Shotzi Blackheart, and Lacey Evans are introduced without incident. But when Asuka is announced, Banks and Bayley try to jump her, but she runs them off. And the rest of our participants makes their entrance to send us to break. SmackDown Women's Championship No More Contenders Battle Royal. This match itself was pretty good, but the outcome I did not really like. Chaos in the early going is a battle royal. Ruby Riott is eliminated first. Billie Kay out second. Then Peyton Royce, then Liv Morgan, and then the two teams brawl on the floor. Nikki Cross and Dana Brooke slides under the ropes and brawl in the ring skirt. More chaos. Tamina throwing punches and playing immovable object, eliminating Cross. Bianca Belair on Snuka trading strikes, spearing her in the middle of the ring and following it up with a glam slam that eliminates Tamina. Naomi and Lacey Evans turning the beat up, but the women's right takes Naomi off the apron. Shotzi Blackheart takes Evans out in turn. Shayna Baszler choked the Beasley Bad You Know What out of, hangs her up on the apron, where Lacey yanks her to the floor to eliminate her. Tegan Knox and Bianca Belair jockeying for position. Bianca gets gets her up, but Tegan rolls her through and into the second rope before low bridging her for the elimination. Final four: Tegan Knox and Shayna Baszler and Asuka. Big senton in the corner on both women. Sit out, ground buster plants in the express, but Shayna currently lifts her to the apron where still active Dana Brooke eliminates her. Dana Brooke with a handspring back elbow. Baszler catches her into the Kerfuda clutch, puts her on the apron. Asuka eliminates Dana Brooke with a hip attack. Queen of Spades and Empress circling. Whip into the corner. Baszler with a sliding kick that nearly ends it, but Asuka hits a hurricane. Still on the apron, Bayley and Sasha try to take her out, but she knocks him down. Shayna Baszler knocks Asuka off the apron, but she lands on Bayley and Sasha and is not eliminated. Back on the apron, Kafuda clutch attempt, but Asuka throws her off. Asuka wins the last elimination. Asuka wins the last elimination Shayna Baszler to become the number one contender to the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Post-match, Asuka celebrates while Bayley and Sasha stand around the dejected. My opinion is this: I predicted Shayna Baszler to win this match tonight. Why can't it be Tegan Knox, Shotzi Blackheart, Bianca Belair, and Shayna Baszler? My prediction was Shayna Baszler. The match itself was pretty good, but the outcome I did not really like. But anyway, let me continue. We get a recap of Sonya Deville attacking Mandy Rose to send us to break. Back from commercial, we see Bayley and Sasha Banks breaking backstage. Sasha just about managed to talk Bayley back into confident over her title defense when Asuka blindsided her. Pat Buck rolls up with some referees trying to restore order. Mandy Rose appears backstage dressed into camo and addressed Sonya Deville. She says part of what Sonya said about her is true, but people have been saying she's just a pretty face her entire life, and to be honest, it hurts. She talks about her trial and tribulations to get where she is, and says Sonya should know how hard she works. It turns out just a reminder of herself, and she thanks Sonya Deville for reminding her that she's more than a pretty face. So she challenged Sonya Deville to a hair versus hair match at SummerSlam. Sheamus rolls up on some security and tells them to take it easy because he's taking over, and we go to break. Back from the break, Nikki Cross is recovered from her match when she spots Elizabeth and rushes over to hug her. She apologized for shoving her a couple of weeks ago, and Bliss says she's fine, not to worry about her. Nikki Cross wants to take her somewhere, but she's staying here because she needs answers from Braun Strowman. Chad Gable versus Sheamus. This match was decent. Sheamus wins by pinfall with the bro kick. AJ Styles is backstage yelling at Chris Joseph Abyss Park over something or other, which is fun and also sends us to break. Back from the break, AJ Styles makes his entrance with Chris Parks walking and steps behind him. They get in the ring, and there's some kind of display board cover up in the ring. Alright. AJ says there's a lot going on in WWE, but they have more process matters than hooligans tearing up the ring. Like who gets to face him for the Intercontinental Championship. It shouldn't matter, but because of Daniel Bryan, he has to be a fighting champion. He wants to just hang out and enjoy his ringing and stream on Twitch. But everybody always throws out suggestions for who he should defend the title against, with all these statistical reasons as to why. But then it dawned on him. When he watches sports, he looks all statistics, and he's a handsome stud of a nerd himself because he cares about statistics. But if you're going to do statistics, he hired the phenomenal intercontinental static system, or Pierce. He admits that name needs some work, but he peels the top line of the board off, and it's him. Number 2, Joseph Parker's assistance is no one. Nobody has earned the right to fight him. But here's the truth: if you work really, really, really hard, then one day you can make it on this board to face him for the Intercontinental Champion. Enter Jeff Hardy. He says he respects the out of AJ Styles, but he didn't get a fair shake in the Intercontinental Championship tournament, and it could have been him against AJ in the finals, but it wasn't. It's over. Moving on. The title is very special to him. It was his first singles title many moons ago, and he stood on his own feet then, just as he does now after conquering his demons once more. He knows his self-worth and what he's accomplished, and that AJ Styles versus Jeff Hardy sounds mega cool. AJ says nobody can question that Jeff deserves to be on the board. So if he's asking if he wants to fight him in this ring for the title, you know what? Absolutely not. He isn't earned the right to be on the board. He gets it. He knows what Jeff has been through, but he's ain't no pity party. Hardy attacks him and lays him out with a twist of fate. Jeff writes his name on the whiteboard and leaves. Commentary hypes the rest of the show up. Cut backstage, the artist collective hanging out on admiring themselves. Cesaro talks up Shinsuke Nakamura match against Grand Metalik tonight. Mox Lucha House Party as the luchador sneaks up behind them and makes off with the titles. The heels give chase, and we go to commercial. Alright, AJ Styles versus Jeff Hardy for the Intercontinental title match. Sign me up. I'm cool with that. Alright. Back from commercial. AJ Styles and Joseph Park are walking the pitch board backstage while AJ Styles fumes. An interview rolls up, and Styles says Jeff Hardy doesn't respect him or the title. So he's gonna show everyone what happened when you mess with AJ Styles. He tries interferently to wipe the board clean, and it turns out that Parker brought a permanent marker. Grand Metalik versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Pretty good match. Alright, the winner of the match, Grand Metalik, wins by pinfall. Alright, commentator shields for the WWE Network. We see Alexa Bliss getting mic'd up for an interview to send us to break. Alright, back from commercial. Matt Riddle is interviewed backstage. He says no one likes a bounty on their head, and he's a pretty laid back guy, so it's annoying to keep his head on a swivel. But it's cool because he came here to compete, and he wants to compete. On the other hand, King Corbin walks around calling himself a king, but as far as he can tell, he's just a royal pain. He's been trying to get a match with him, but he doesn't know what to do. Enter Chad Gable. He wants to explain himself. He got caught up in King's ransom because he has a family, and that money will go a long way. But he doesn't justify what he did, and he is embarrassed that he tried to hurt Matt Riddle, and he wants to apologize face to face. Matt Riddle gives the fist bump and says it's all good. If he wants to go, he just need a heads up because he's down for a fight. Corbin blindsides Matt Riddle with a scepter to the back of the head. He tells Riddle this is his kingdom and thanks Chad for his help. Alexa Bliss is interviewed backstage. She says she has been better and talk about her history with Braun Strowman, how he's entirely intimidating, but she got to know him and became best friends. Asked directly, she says maybe they could have grown to be more than friends, but she doesn't want to speculate if that's why the Fiend attacked her. She says it's scary to compelling to be in his presence, or once you're interacting with him, and it's like you can't feel his presence. She doesn't want to talk about how Braun promo last week made her feel, and we go to break. Back from the break, Sonya Deville cuts a promo backstage wherein she accepts the hair versus hair match and says she thinks Mandy Rose will look great ball. Big E versus John Morrison. This was a pretty good match. Big E wins by submission. Alright, post match. Sheamus, Bro Kids, Big E on the ramp. Braun Strowman makes his entrance to send us to break. Alright. He says the Fiend knows exactly what he's going to get at SummerSlam because he's the most evil son of a you-know-what that anyone on this earth has ever laid eyes on. And he calls the Fiend out to face his spirit so he can literally murder him and eat the entrails. Enter Alexa Bliss. She says at the risk of making him angry, she thinks they need to give a conversation. He asks about what, and she says this is about him. He's not the Braun she knows. And last week he says he doesn't give a you-know-what about her. She doesn't believe that they've been best friends for years. Strowman says she's used him as a paw, and he meant what he said last week. She's confused, and he says he'll spill it out. Everyone who comes in contact with the Fiend change, including her. So he wants her to get out of the ring so he can have the Fiend. Bliss relents and tells him to be careful what you wish for, and if she can talk some sense to him, she'll slap some sense to him. And she demanded he looks at her when she's talking to him. He slowly turns and slaps him across the face. He smiles. She slaps him a bunch more and tell him to wake up. But he scooped her up in a military press. But he's still holding her up as the lights go down, Fiend style, not Retribution style. He drops her visualist right as the last lights go out. Red lights come up and Alexa Bliss is gasping in the middle of the ring as the Fiend stands over her. Braun appears on the Tron, laughing, and the show and Smackdown went off the air. All right, the last promo of Braun Strowman was excellent. I like that. So I have to give credit where credit's due to WWE. That last promo was good. But anyway, the show Smackdown itself was just a decent show. So anyway, if you guys enjoy my WWE Smackdown review and highlights, please drop a like on this video. Comment down below what you guys think of Smackdown. I'll leave my Twitter, my Instagram, and TikTok down below in the description. You guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Big Boy John 25, and I'm out of here. And also, once I hit 3K, once I hit 3K subscribers, I'm gonna do a 3K shoutouts video on my channel. So make sure you guys be on the lookout for that. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. Stay positive, and I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. This your boy, Big Boy John 25, and I'll talk to you guys later. And I'm out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate that, guys.